All right, so a review of activity 3, just going to go through the tour journal in general. Now you're kind of getting used to how the tour journals are set up. You know that they are part of your culminating activity and in lieu of an exam. So it is worthwhile to be submitting those as timely as possible. So what are we doing? In this activity, we're going to look at different cardiovascular conditions, and we're also going to talk about treatments that are done to help treat those conditions. And then you're also going to look at the indirect and direct costs of healthcare and add, it says to your mind map. I made it into a Google slideshow because they canceled that mind map app that we were supposed to use. About the impacts of heart disease in Canada. So we're kind of going back to a task that you already completed, and hopefully I've already had time to give you some feedback on. So if we open up Tour Journal 3, let's have a sneak peek at what's on here. So you are going to have the usual. There's going to be a career, there's going to be a tour guide, and you're going to do the career and the career connection as part of your culminating with the tour journal. There are some tasks within the course that you will not be doing, but I haven't deleted from the content area because I'm not sure if I'll use them at a later date. So I do want you to go through this task and the information related to these pieces. However, there isn't going to be a formal assignment on it just based on time. So you will have an assignment that has to go in for this one. I will do a more specific video again in the tutorial area. But basically in that one, you're going to be looking at direct costs of healthcare in Ontario. And we're going to be looking at diseases of the circulatory system. So it's kind of cool because we actually do this a few different times with different systems. So it's really kind of neat to see the costs altogether of these things. And I'll explain that more in the video that I do. There's going to be a discussion that is related to the information that you get here. So you're going to want to make sure that you do part 2 before you do part 3. That doesn't always happen, but in this case, you're going to want to do that. And then part 4 is going back to, let's see if this link should work. It's going back to the mind map that you made around heart disease. And you did this in activity 1, so learning task 1-2, depending how quickly you were able to finish it and how soon you were entered into the course. You may have feedback from me, but this should look familiar. And there was the videos up in activity 1 where I described what you were doing there. So we're going back to that, and then we're going to be adding to it. So you're going to want to go back to that original file and add some stuff to it, and then you're going to submit that to me in the assignment area. So it's just kind of a redo of that learning task 1-2. So again, a really good reason to make sure that you put all of your files for this course in the one place. And then what have you got? You're going to finish up your tour journal. You're going to ask the questions below. You're going to make sure that you submit to me the tour journal to the culminating area of the course. And there's a learning skills reflection in the form of a Google form that you can complete for me. So that's it for activity 3. Let's look at specifically just the tour journal parts that will be part of your culminating activity. So as you go through, make sure you don't jump to this before you go through the content in the activity, because you'll see where these things are addressed. So why do you think the government keeps track of the cost of healthcare and certain diseases and illnesses so carefully? So why do you think? So you're coming up with reasons of why you think that. The career connection, you've pulled that directly from within here as you get guided around by your tour guide, and you're providing me with details of the job description. I'm going to come back to this, but that will be completed before you submit the tour journal as well, but it's also getting submitted in a different assignment area. And then your reflection. As you've learned, heart disease has a very large impact on society, but also on the individual. What did you learn about the impact of heart disease that has affected you the most? Why did it affect you? So in my family, I would say one thing that impacts me about heart disease in general is that in my family, heart disease runs like it's on both sides of the family. My biological father passed away in his early 50s after having 2 heart attacks. So for me, heart disease kind of stands out as a red flag. And then what are some questions do you have, like your general, what are some questions that you've come up with regards to this tour? And then you're going to submit, and I should type that here. Don't forget to submit. I'll wait because, God, this computer. Don't forget to submit to the culminating assignment area when complete. Right? So you're going to do that with every tour journal. Okay, so that's it for the intro. Have a look through here, and I will post up individual videos for each piece.